Why, hello. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. I always say it in that order. I always go those three first. Welcome to today's webinar. Really excited to go through all of the different things related to Slack that we just released from our Slack agent, which allows you to connect Julius directly to your Slack, ask questions, ask follow-up questions, have the whole team see how you're interacting with Julius and the questions that you're asking. And we'll also talk through the Slack reports too. For any analysis that you're doing in Julius, you could send all of those results directly to Slack, whether that's manually or even on a schedule from a scheduled notebook. All something that we'll walk through today. We'll go ahead and update our settings here. Let me turn down this music just a little bit. Okay, let me move over to my demo that I have set up here. For those of you who have just tuned in for the first time, we do these webinars twice a week. Earlier this week, we did our onboarding webinar, and then this one will dive into how to actually set up the Slack. The other webinars that we typically do are on data connectors, so how you can set up and use all of the different data connectors that we've made, which you can see here. And then also we do one on notebooks every other week too. A little bit about our notebooks feature, how to get started using a notebook. We also have some templates available for you to use here as well. But today's, we'll talk through our Slack agent. Awesome, let's go ahead and get started. So let me just click on chat. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect my marketing database. This is again using my Postgres connector. Reason why I'm going to connect here is just to show you an overview of this data. What do we have inside of this database? So I'll expand this over here so we can see. Three different tables that or collections of data that we have here. We have a marketing one, public one, which we've covered in previous webinars, and then also our RevOps table 2 collection here that has everything related to RevOps. So accounts, activities, and contacts. In today's example, we're just going to go through our marketing database, which has everything related to your campaigns, for example. So I have campaign lifecycle, attribution, which you can see here, and then also things like marketing spend, all the different things you would typically need to ask your database or at least analyze inside of your database here. So I have attribution for things like Google Ads, organic, meta ads, etc. I have the campaign lifecycles, so any campaigns that we're running on those channels. And then the marketing spend for each one of those two. Let's just ask Julius a basic question here. Let's say, can you pull the marketing spend daily by channel from my marketing database? This is the typical way that we'll interact with data connectors, asking a simple question in plain English. Julius will write the query in order to pull the data from that database here. And then it will provide either the analysis or those visualizations from that analysis accordingly. So we see the SQL being written out here. We see an error, and then Julius is going to update the query as needed in order to query this correctly. When it comes to using Slack and the Slack agent, best is to use your data connectors, in my opinion. You got to connect to a database, for example, does help with having access to live data. And that way, whenever you do have a question, which we'll walk through, you could simply just ask plain English and then get results from the live data. I'm going to clarify here. It says I don't see a table specifically called marketing spend daily. Let's say double check that you're pulling from the marketing collection. Grab the marketing spend daily here. I think that's one thing from having, I think it dove into, it looks like the public data set here. We'll see if clarifying where it should be pulling from. And I think this is the query needed to run, and now it's grabbing it accordingly. All right, here we go. Now it's pulling the spend, and then we can see this table here by channel. Okay, so I'm just doing this to show you an overview of this database. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually just going to connect to my Slack that I have set up. To do this, I will go over to my data connectors. Under integrations here, we see Slack. I'm going to click on connect. It's going to ask which Slack workspace I would like to add Julius to. If you're a member of multiple workspaces, you can click in the upper right-hand corner and find your respective workspace that you want to add Julius to here. In this case, I'm going to add it to the Julius demo Slack. We're still working on getting our Julius app approved at the Slack marketplace, but in the meantime, you just click allow down here, and this will add Julius to your Slack. I'm going to open up my Slack that I have, which is over here. And this is my demo workspace that you'll see. Has all the same channels, and then we'll actually just make a test channel here for Julius. So I'm going to create a channel, and we're going to call this the webinar demo channel. All right. Now I can go back to Julius, and I could send a report to the Slack. I'm going to refresh since I just created that Slack channel. And then here I have the webinar demo channel. I'm going to send a test message and just show you what will pop up. And we can see it here. So congratulations on setting up your Slack integration with Julius. You can now begin sending Julius AI scheduled notebook results directly to Slack. And that's something that we'll walk through. So here, if I go back to my, if I go to, let's see here, if I go to a notebook, right? Let me just connect here. I'm going to connect to that marketing database again. And we'll do that same question. Can you connect to my marketing database and pull the marketing spend daily? I'll say collection. Okay. And the best part is if you go to schedule here in the upper right hand corner, you could schedule this analysis to be run. Here I'm going to schedule this to be run at 1:15, but we could actually just test it. But I'm going to send a Slack report as well. So here I could go to Slack report, toggle this on, go to my webinar demo channel, and I'll say this is my marketing spend daily report, right? The other cool thing you could do here is like after the analysis is run, you could say, hey, Julius, I want this to have I want you to send to Slack my findings, right? Maybe I want only the visualizations first. So visualizations, Julius should show any visualizations that came from the analysis. All right. We'll add another section. And then here we could title this section findings. And then what should Julius write in the section? We'll say Julius should, let's say, summarize any key findings into bullet points. All right, and I'm going to click Save. If I go back to Schedule here, now I can go to Schedule and click on Test Now. What this is going to do is it's going to create a brand new run, similar to what we talked about in our previous notebooks webinar. Julius will automatically connect to my Postgres connector. Then it's going to run through all of the respective cells or prompts that I have to analyze that connector. Okay. All right, and it's running those same queries that we had from earlier in the webinar. So it's going to check for the schema, and then it's going to query the marketing database that I have over here. All right, looks like it's getting stuck on the same thing over again. Let me just clarify. Let's instead look for my marketing collection / schema, which has a table called marketing spend daily. I flicked back over here to the Slack channel, and you can see the analysis being run. And this is when it's done with the notebook. And you can see the notebook summarizes what we just went through. Wasn't able to connect to the respective database, but we'll try it again here. There we go. So now it's able to find it. All right, so maybe I have to clarify this is the table that I want to grab from. We'll try this one more time. I want to make sure we get this right. So here, I'm going to go to my notebook, again, by clicking on the notebook up here. And I'm going to say up here, grab me the marketing spend from marketing spend daily. And then I'll say one more prompt. I'll try like visualize it to show spend by channel. We'll try this out. We'll try this one more time. There we go. Now that looks correct. It's grabbing from the right database here. All right, let me open up this one here, marketing spend daily, and it has channels yet. All right, this is just me testing out this notebook, and we're just going to try this out really quickly and see. All right, here we have the spend by channel. So here we have the first table for Google Ads, LinkedIn, Meta Ads, for example. And then we could see visualized here the total spend. So we spent over $1 million on Google Ads, a little bit over $1 million on LinkedIn, and then just a little bit more, $1 million on Meta Ads as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try the schedule again one more time now that we have a better query to run. Here I'm going to open Schedule Notebook. Actually, well, wait, it looks like it's about to schedule. It's already 1:15, right? If I go to Notebooks here, and I'll open up the one that we have, I'm going to refresh this really quickly. All right, so we have the run being created automatically here. This is from the schedule that I had set up just a few minutes ago. You can click into this, and then we'll see it being run automatically here. So here's that same connection to the marketing database. Now it's grabbing the right table, and then it's going to run that same exact analysis and visualization. Best part is I'm going to go back over to my Slack channel over here, and we'll just watch how the results come in. This is best for, I'll say the Slack reports are best for any analysis that you want delivered automatically to your Slack channel without needing to prompt Julius, right? So some of the use cases that we use it for internally and that we've seen users use it for is to deliver either reports, visualizations, or some sort of analysis in the morning. So that way they wake up, they go to the Slack channel, and everything's ready for them without needing to lift a finger, right? The way I use it actually is to create I have a notebook that I run very similar to what we just walked through that gives me a list of users to invite to the webinar. I have a query that I look for to see, hey, maybe these people would benefit most from joining maybe the onboarding webinar. Instead of me needing to query this and then download the CSV, I have Julius create an output just like this. And we just saw this come in here. So we have the visualizations like I specified, and I wanted it to give me this image here. And then also the key findings in bullet points. And here you could see the spend per channel. So again, really, really simple and straightforward. The best part, you can also click on Open Notebook, and it'll take you directly to the notebook that was just run. And you can see all of the code that Julius ran here itself. So that's Slack reports in a nutshell. Really handy for getting scheduled reports or any analysis delivered straight to your inbox or into a shared channel that you might have with your team too. The next thing I'm going to walk through is our Slack agent, right? So this is more for when you're inside Slack and you have a question, or you have curiosity, or you have some sort of um, analysis that you want done that you would normally have to either do yourself or ping someone on your analytics team, right? To set this up, let's just go to data connectors. We can see that the Slack integration is already hooked up. I'll go to my Slack, and I'm going to make a brand new channel. Let's just make a new one called Ask Julius, for example. And we'll create this. Right? Next, just invite Julius as if you're inviting any other teammate. So I'll do /invite, and then you do @Julius, and you'll see the app pop up that we installed earlier. Once I click this, I'm going to press enter, and then you'll see that Julius is joined. Let's just do that same exact prompt that I asked earlier. So I wanted to know marketing spend by channel, right? Instead of even needing to open up Julius, I'm going to just tag Julius here. Can you connect to my marketing database and pull, I'm going to paste that in, marketing.marketing spend daily, the marketing spend by channel. You'll see an hourglass icon pop up when Julius has received your question, and now it's actually working on doing that analysis for me in the back. So it's all within Julius, again, without needing to leave your Slack at all. A couple of things to call out while we work on this, or while Julius is working. You do need to call out the specific connector name. That's really, really helpful, right? So over here in my data connectors, I have my Postgres connector called marketing database, right? Titling this something really, really unique is helpful, so that way Julius just doesn't pull from the wrong database or data connector, right? So we'll see Julius output the results here. The other thing, I'm only in the channel by myself, but you could also be in a channel with your team too. They could ask questions following up on that same thread. And likewise, they can ask their own questions tagging at Julius too. You'll see Julius has responded with a white check mark. And then you can see it replied directly to this thread, which I'll open up. And here we see the same exact analysis that was done. So Julius went in to my marketing connector. It pulled out the daily spend by channel. And then it also included those key metrics as well. Cool thing, you could ask follow-up questions, right? So I really liked that visualization we saw earlier. So I'll tell Julius, @Julius, can you visualize this for me? Showing the spend by channel. And same exact flow. Julius is going to respond with the hourglass icon, and it's going to get working on that analysis. The other cool thing is you can click on this button, Open in Julius, and what this will do is it's going to open up where all the magic is happening. So you could see the last prompt that I had sent, and then also you could see the analysis that Julius had just sent to the Slack channel. If you also want to find this, you can go to your chats, and you'll see the new thread created here in the left-hand panel. I mentioned earlier that you could have your team join or see, especially if you're in a public channel. That's been one of the hidden gems of having this Julius Slack agent is you could see the questions that other people are asking. And normally you just don't see that when you're all working on Julius separately, right, in your own environment. And even in notebooks, I feel like it's hard sometimes, or you don't really do the, it's hard to spark curiosity like that. Oftentimes when we're testing this internally, we're all looking at the same Slack channel. We're seeing how people are interacting with Julius and the questions that they're asking, and then also the results too. Just last night we were starting a thread and everyone just hopped in and just watched Julius put all the outputs together. And it's pretty interesting too to see it pop up in the thread. So here we see the marketing spend by channel over time. And again, you can just click into this to see the visualization. And here, pretty neat to show, hey, how much we're actually spending on all these different channels each day. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward. I think really common workflow normally would have been to just ping your data team, right? all my previous jobs I've worked at, we had some sort of data channel. If you couldn't just ping them in Slack, you would have to create some sort of ticket. In this case, at Julius, we don't even have a data team. We're all part of the data team, and Julius is our data analyst. So that's been sort of the cool thing is, hey, I have a question. I'm not going to open up Julius. I'm sitting in a meeting somewhere. You could just at Julius, ask it a question. Let's try another one. Let's say, at Julius, can you look for any interesting trends or insights in my marketing database from the marketing spend daily? And we'll see this. It could be really broad questions too, and Julius will find a way. Just like as if you were to ping any other data analyst too. Be really handy. Oh, it's Joe. Hey, Joe. How's it going? Miss you, Joe. For those who don't know, we are live right now on Product Hunt. You could see Julius Slack agent that we just launched today, and then you could also share any love and feedback. And even just last night, we saw Joe typing in the Slack channel there. Dude, it's sick. It's actually pretty awesome. Yeah, just to be able to ask questions directly in Slack. There's something about letting Julius like cook without needing to. It's a different experience than just watching Julius like in a chat like this, and I'm just sitting here watching it write the code out. Versus I'm just gonna ping it in Slack and I'm gonna go work on something else, and Julius will just pop it back up, dude. It's pretty sick. Been liking that too. All right, we'll see what pops up from this. All right, we'll see what Julius is able to cook up here. Pretty broad question that I had asked it. Could take a peek, but we'll just let Julius cook. We're not gonna look at the chat. And maybe you could even ask. We'll just let it cook here. But yeah, it's been great so far. No, seriously, I think, yeah, just having Julius be able to work in the background first is really cool. You don't really have to do all the in the weeds analysis. You just let Julius handle it all. And then separately, just seeing other people ask questions is really cool. I think that's something that we just don't get from using Julius normally. Let's see here. Julius is cooking. There we go. All right, so let's take a look. So here we see the channel performance overview. We see the different channels, the total spend, total conversions. That's a lot of conversions. 46,000 people converted. That's a really good, I don't know how good of a campaign this actually is. And then you could see the visualizations it cooked up. So marketing spend by channel versus the return on ad spend. So I guess, yeah, actually it was really bad. I didn't break even on any of these. Cool. And then we see the marketing spend trends over time. So we see we spent $80,000 on Google Ads in the first month of 2024. And then some key insights too. So the highest spend, $1.79 million, but their lowest ROAS concerning, fair. And then also the emails, the smallest spend, but the best ROAS and highest CTR. and then some optional insights too. And then you can just keep on asking questions. So give it a try if you haven't already. Jaden put together some really good docs here. So if you go to our documentation by clicking on the bottom left, clicking on documentation, if you go to Slack Agent, you'll see all the different tips here from what it is, how to set it up, and some of the best practices here, how to title and name your data connectors. This goes back to what I was mentioning earlier, making it something very purposeful like prod, read, replica. Don't do it just naming it Postgres similar to what I had done previously. It's easy for Julius to get confused if you have maybe 10 Postgres connectors. And then schedule Slack reports. And here you could see what we demoed earlier. So delivering reports directly to Slack. Again, we're live on Product Hunt. So if you have any questions or any feedback, feel free to just add a comment. You know, we love to just see or hear or learn a little bit more about how you're using the Slack agent. And also, we'll greatly appreciate it as well. That's it for this webinar today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. We'll have an onboarding webinar next week, as well as another webinar with Drew. Woo! We'll see you next time. Bye.